Welcome to MyLITV. From Manhasset to Montauk, we have traveled our communities to bring you the following events. I'm your host, Waldo Cabrera. Get ready, MyLITV starts now.
Where is the sense of the life that I lead now that music's been taken away? Why was I born to this grave, languishing deep in this tomb?
I'm playing a guy whose name is Eric, actually, and but he's the Phantom, and he's been living in the basement of the Paris Opera since he was a young boy because he has this hideously deformed face, and he wears masks, and he falls in love with a beautiful soprano and tries to lure her down to live with him in the basement, but it doesn't really work out so well.
No, please, I would appreciate it greatly if you'd be so kind as to stay just where you are.
This version of Phantom of the Opera, based on the novel from the 1880s, 1890s, a French novel, is different to the one that's on Broadway, and it does a lot more background work to explain why the Phantom ends up the way he does, and it talks a bit about his father having had a relationship with a woman who he couldn't ultimately be with, and so the child that they bear together is hidden away because it was born deformed in the basement. And the sister explains why the Phantom becomes so demonic and crazed, because he's had this very strange upbringing. I think of myself generally more of an actor than a singer, but I've had some great coaching from the music director of the show, actually, Jeff Buxbaum, helped me prepare for the role. And I feel like I'm singing now in a way that I've never heard myself sing before, because the role demanded that I reach a certain scale of sound and size and a sort of feel, which is more operatic, and I'm thrilled with it.
I also did Phantom of the Opera, which is the Andrew Lloyd Webber version in Las Vegas I did. So it's definitely a different story, a lot of different music, and I think there's a different journey for Christine especially, I think. So it's fun to explore that every night for sure. I think my favorite scene is the bistro scene. There's like a singing competition. So in that scene there's just this beautiful song. I get to sing with the whole company, and it's definitely a lot of fun.
It's not fair. Almost very should hear your voice. That is how good you are. Have you ever considered a career in the opera? In the opera? I can see you have.
I'm Count Philippe de Chandon, the Champagne King. I find Christine first, and I hear her singing on the street, and I send her to the opera house to have voice lessons. And as she's there, the Phantom finds her as well, and he takes her for his own and gives her his own voice lessons. So then it kind of sets up a triangle between him, me, and her.
I've dreamed of you. What kind of mind could ever have made that face?
I think the story is a little deeper in this one, not particularly for my character, but at least for the Phantom, you get to learn more about him than you do in the other one. You get to learn why he is who he is and how he got there and whatnot. Especially in the second act, there's a big number that gives a description on how he came to be.
I want him arrested. On what charge? For criticizing my wife's performance before she's even performed.
I play Cholet, and he's the new manager coming in with Carlotta. Carlotta's his wife, and she's the diva of the opera house, and they kind of come and take over, much to the Phantom's chagrin. The Carlotta and I, Alicia Irving, who plays my wife, we have a scene where I go into her cleavage and do this. So that's one of our favorite scenes to do.
Serious?
Yeah, it usually gets a big chuckle from the audience. So
That's his domain, and anyone who goes down there does not return. He calls himself the Phantom of the Opera. Boom!
Cabrera, I do not believe a word of this.
I play Monsieur Gerard Carrière. I've been aware of the Phantom for many, many years, and as a matter of fact, I have communication with him, and I've been able to keep him under control for all these years, but now all of a sudden I have lost control, and mayhem ensues.
My God, the place really is haunted.
Maury Yeston is a much more traditional composer. Andrew Lloyd Webber leans more towards the pop, so the melodies are much grander and much more, I think, sophisticated. I think the music in this show is gorgeous.